So now we continue with the low poly. What we have to do now is connect the teeth with the head, with the upper low, because they won't have to be baked separately. Only the tongue and the eyes should be baked separately. So let's select the eyes and the tongue, and then Control I with invert selection, because I want this naming to be for the tongue and the eye, so it will remain and will detach only the teeth. We don't need to give them name because we will attach them, of course. Let's attach them. Okay, so now we have them with the upper, with the head and the hands and the arms. And then we should go ahead and check our UVs. Open UV editor, and you can see our UVs are pretty good, but there's one thing here. And you have to make sure that every piece of UV is in these borders here, because otherwise it won't be baked at all. So what we might do here is find a place for this tongue. This is the upper part, this is the lower part, so the lower part is a little less important, so we will just make it smaller and put it right here, and this will go right here, for example. Or let me see if I have other place, but we can always find a place for this. It's not a big deal or a problem, because we have space for now. So our tongue, it can be a little bit bigger here, it doesn't matter. So if it can be bigger, you should make it bigger, but be careful not to touch the borders of the other polygon islands, because it will be a little bit of a problem, you know. When you bake, it will be visible. So this will be our UV, collapse to, so it's cool. And now we go to ZBrush and see what we have here. So this is how we left the ZBrush before. Now what we have to do here is delete some of the things. For example, those teeth we don't need, so we'll delete them. We also don't need this one, delete, this head, delete, and it's okay. So what I want to do now is export those subtools with corresponding names. So first I wanna merge those two. Let's merge them, merge down. They will become like more than 15 million polygons, which we'll see if it will export from ZBrush. I think it will, but we'll see. Other thing I wanna do is go ahead and into the mouth. We have some issues here with the coloring mostly, so let's select this and just push it a little bit inwards, because we obviously don't need this metal to be shown in the mouth, inside the mouth. It's not good. So let me see. Okay, now I did it. Pretty cool. We don't see it anymore. Very cool. So now the thing is that you obviously see that our metal here, the material is shiny. Here is not shiny. This doesn't matter, because the only thing that matters is the color. So the color here is white. The color here, the color is white, so that's the only thing that matters for now. We will select by color. So legs, torso, and eyes and stuff. So the only thing that I will have to emphasize is very important. When we export from ZBrush, we have to check out some option, which is here in the export group. So basically, when we bake in Substance Painter, for example, yeah, we have to bake there. We need Substance Painter to be able to tell. We will name our models. For example, this will be. Let me see. What was the name of this? This is the name body low. Okay, this is body low. So the legs are part of body low. Oops, this is Substance Painter. There's nothing here. These legs are part of body low. We will name them body high legs. Substance Painter is searching for the names of the objects themselves. If we have this group options here, this will be exported as a group, and inside the group there will be objects with random names. So Substance Painter will be confused and not bake. We'll need to disable this option of group, and now Substance Painter will look this as an object, all of this, and what name we give the object when we export, Substance Painter will look into that, and that's what we want. So in every subtool we go ahead and disable group options, not group options, but this export subgroups, no subgroups. We need this to be its own group or its own object. No grouping here. The grouping will be in 3D Max, where we will have all the model like this selected, and we will export it as one FBX file, but the objects inside are what matters. So it will be a group, but Substance Painter looks beyond the group and looks for the single objects. So our objects, what they're called, Substance Painter will see that and will bake correspondently or whatever, yeah. So eye-tongue low, upper low, and body low. So I will go ahead and save export selected. So we go, yeah, I've pressed my shortcut for export selected, so we'll go here, export, this arrow, export selected. We always have to export selected, not export all the file, because this will be very bad. So we'll export it as FBX, so first option here, and then we'll call it whatever, Croco Substance Low. Doesn't matter. I mean, this name is completely up to you. So here we'll leave it as it is and press OK. And we'll export it. Okay. Texture export doesn't matter. We don't have textures. One thing is a problem. I forgot to do. So let's do it. Press M to go to material dialog, and we need to separate two different materials in order for Substance Painter to know how to separate our meshes. So here we will play material upper. This will be the upper material, and we just say the name, I mean write the name, and then apply it to the upper object. So the teeth, the tongue, and this. Here we'll make body and apply it to the bottom. So now the only materials that we have on this object are those two materials, and this way we'll export. So don't forget to make materials. This will be very important for Substance Painter to see inside. Just name some materials and apply them. That will be all. So we will replace this file. Okay. Now probably there won't be mistake. Okay, there won't be error, and everything is cool. So I think we have done this. Okay, no group, and now we can export. So first we export this, and we will export it as, in the baking, we'll export it as obj file, and it will be named as like this, eye, tongue, but yeah, let's copy it, because we have to make sure that this is exactly the same name, but high. After that, we can write whatever, it doesn't matter. but until high or low, it has to be exactly the same as the opposite. I mean, yeah. So save. It's okay. Now here, this thing will apply both to the high and to the low, of both to the upper and both to the body. You know, the upper has the hands, the arms, and the body has the other parts. So what we can do here, and we might do, is export upper, high, arms, because this will be for the arms. Save and wait. This will take a little bit of time, but the most time we will experience in this tool with the 16 million and more polygons. So this will be fast, relatively fast. And now we will save it again, export it as body, high, body again, why not? Okay, save. Then this thing we will export twice also, because it contains parts of the upper and parts of the body, so we'll export it twice again. Because the substance has to bake on one texture, then it has to bake on another texture, and it cannot use one file for this. It has to be two files. The other things we can do is export it just once and then copy and rename it, which will be better because this particular tool, which is 16.2 million polygons, will be a little bit harder to export, so let's do it. We'll name it upper, high, head, for example, and save, and now we wait, or at least I wait. You don't wait. And surprisingly it took like 1 minute and something, so it was pretty fast. So I will export also the legs. There will be body, of course, export, body, high, legs, save, and they'll have to be pretty fast to export. They are not so huge polygon numbers, and they are ready. So now what we want to do, we have exported all, so we go to the baking folder, and what we can do, upper, high, head, we have to copy here, yes, and we will call it body, high, body, high. It won't be body, high, head, but it doesn't matter that much. Body, high, armor, for example, it doesn't matter. So we have body, high, armor, body, high, legs. So this is the high meshes for the body part. This is the eye tongue part. This is upper, high, upper, arms and head. So let's see if the naming is correct. I always check upper with double P, okay, body, okay. So now we go to Substance Painter. First, when you open Substance Painter, you have to see something similar like this. If some of these windows here are missing, that I will show you now, you can always go here, Windows, Views, and check it out. So history or logs, it doesn't have to be. The other windows, you have it, so it's cool. So for now, we go to File, New, of course, and select our mesh. Crocus Substance Low. So I made it in capital letters because I just want to show you that it doesn't matter, you know. Open. And everything else should be like this. This resolution of the document is the resolution of the texture. It doesn't matter here because we can change it on the fly. So this is our model without any maps. So now we will add maps. And now you can see here in the texture window, texture set list, you can see these materials that we have made, and I've named them body and upper, and they are here. If we don't make these materials, it will be awful. So make the materials according to your textures. We have 2 textures and we have 2 materials here. It's cool. So this is the shaders. We go where? We go to our texture set settings here. So here we bake mesh maps. We press this on texture set settings. We have here metallic something something and bake mesh maps. We go. So this is the window where we bake our textures. It will take a lot of time to bake them, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So 4K will be the resolution that will bake everything, which is cool. The other options, we will not bother with them for now. And I think that our model will be okay without bothering with max frontal distance, max rear distance, or use low poly mesh for high poly. This is completely useless for now. Use cage, we don't use cage now. But one thing we have to do is match by mesh name. Not always, but by mesh name. And that's exactly why we made those names matching, because we have to match them by a mesh name. And now it will match each mesh from here, the upper low, it will match to upper high meshes. We will add them here. So body high armor, everything we add except for this, because this we don't need. Every high poly we add it here. And now other thing, subsampling 2x2, it's the anti-aliasing. I'm not sure that we need it, but I will put it. And this is where the magic happens. When we match by mesh name, high poly suffix will be this thing and high, and low. We can make it like bear and cow, doesn't matter. It has to be on the files. So if we make this bear and this, for example, mouse, because it's low, we have to change here the names mouse instead of low, and the files should be named not high but bear. So yeah, it doesn't matter what you put there, but since by default it's high and low, and I made my files named like this. So high, it's here, so it's cool. Low, we know that we name it low. So now all we have to do is press bake all texture sets. This here will bake only the body, because we are on the body when we press this. We can bake only the body, but we need to bake all at once, so we'll bake all texture sets and we will wait a lot of time. But let's do it and be okay with this. So let's start. And we started, and now we will wait for maybe around 30 minutes or something, we'll see. And after that it has to be over, and we'll get back to this. Of course, you will not wait, you will just see the end result. So good for you. I will wait. Like 50 minutes later, you can see that our normal map is here. We have some of the maps already applied, but we have 92% left. So it will be at least an hour probably, all of the thing. But we have the model. It's looking good. So yeah, for you after a few seconds, for me after a few minutes probably. Yeah, so we have all our maps now, and the model looks just amazing. And this is with 2K map, because let me see, where was it? Shaders, no, texture settings, yes. So here's the size of the texture, current size, it's 2K. We can make it 4K, but we have to have a good graphics card in order to not experience some lag. And even with the best graphic card in the market, you will experience lag in 4K. So most of the time we work in 2K, and especially with smart materials and stuff, it's better to use 2K. And when we export the textures, we will export them at 4K, and sometimes at the end of our making the model, we can of course go ahead and see it in 4K, make a little adjustments, and everything will be just perfect. The baking is amazing. Everything looks super nice. There are no hiccups in the render. Even here inside of the finger looks fine. I'm just amazed by how this is rendered. I mean, how it's baked. So very cool. And now I'll show you how to change some things. For example, we can, with shift and right mouse button, we can rotate our environment. You see here how this is environment rotation. Exposure, we don't like to use this because it's a little bit not good. Environment opacity, we can see the environment, and the blur, if we disable it, we can see where we are now. And this is the environment that we are using now. This is the panorama, which is default. We might use something else. Let's see. For example, this one. This is the Gdansk shipyard buildings. And I think this will be a proper environment for an industrial environment a little bit for our model. So yes, it looks very good. So now we can always work on just one, either body, upper in this case, or body. And we will start working on one of them, and then we will go to the other. I would like to start working on the upper because it looks like it's more important a little bit. It's the head and stuff. So first we like to make few. Okay, I will just guide you through the interface a little bit. Here we have all our resources. We have materials, tools. I don't use this too much. Particles. This is also rarely used. Brushes. We use this when we start to manual do something on the model, and we change brushes. Most of the time we use dirt 2 or dirt 3. We can use some scratches also. Yeah. Filters, don't use it. Hard surfaces, we may use this, but you'll see. Textures, this is our textures here. And also it has some other textures for skin, normal maps. But our textures are in this area, and we can get them from here and use them also for some things, we'll see. Procedurals, we use them sometimes, especially dirt. And yeah, it's cool. Grunges, also useful. Alphas, not so much, but we can use them for a blood splash if we want to put something like this in our model. Fingerprints, for example. Some guy was captured by this crocodile, and before he died he just left his fingerprints on the front of the armor, for example. Why not? We can do whatever. Okay, project. This is exactly our textures here, and that's almost it. We have materials which we can use and we might use, but yeah, moderately. Sometimes we use them a lot. We have concrete, we have fabric, we have leather. So for leather things we can use it. We have smart materials, which are important, but we have to be careful with them. We may use steel painted for our model. We may change the color, of course, of this. For the metal parts we can use this. Smart masks, we use this a lot. You will see. Environments, these are our environments. We can either change them from here or from here, it's no problem. Color profiles, we don't use this. So yeah. So now first we go here and we add a fill layer, and we name this layer base color. So it's a good idea to name all of your layers. Then we may put our texture, which we baked from textures, which we baked from ZBrush, the V colors, which here is color map, and we can use this also for ID map, and we will. But where do we put it? We should go away from this display settings and go to properties fill. Properties fill is the most important thing for now, so we will dial down this a bit, and properties fill will be the window that we will work mostly. So now we want this to be a color, everything else we will disable of this layer, and we will leave just the base color, and we will drag our texture here. And now you'll see this is our polypaint from ZBrush, which is cool. We have some greenish stuff, and yeah. So next one, we'll make a folder and we name it metal. This will be our metal, and inside this folder we'll put the painted metal smart material, which is cool. But first we need to put mask. With right mouse button we get this menu, which is very important. We can add white, black, bitmap mask, or mask with color selection, which we want to use. Pick color and pick this one. So now if we put something in this folder, it will affect only those white parts. Let's do this. Let's go to smart materials, get this still painted, and drag it just here. So still painted is a folder again, but it's inside our folder, and now it's affecting only whatever we want it to affect. So it looks a little bit too much, but we can fix this. So we open this and we see 1, 2, 3 layers. It's only 3 layers. It's very cool. So this is the base, the steel, this layer. This layer is some like holes and punches and this layer is the paint above all. So this paint we can always change, and I like to change it, for example, like this. Something like this yellow would be nice. Also we can add on top of it some grunge and stuff, but for now let's leave it like this. The only thing that we should do is this tube. I want it to be a rubber tube. I don't want it to be like this, so we'll exclude it from the mask. Also these things, I don't want them to be painted. So what I want to do is go to the mask here, and this mask is responsible for these things that are, this mask is masking the paint where the metal will be visible below. So I want to add here paint, so we can paint on the mask. When we add paint, we'll paint on the mask. So I would want to paint. I will go to brushes and go to Dirt 2. Dirt 2 is a good brush, and I would like to paint with it. Resizing the brush is made with the bracket keys, and then I can paint here, and I'm painting with obviously with black, and I'm just removing the mask, or just adding the mask, so this will be clean. And we can do this for whatever we want. For example, here or here we can add it to make it a little bit difficult, different. So with X key we can make the mask, we can start drawing with white and just adding some paint, which is pretty cool. And of course we have to we can rotate also, which is and the opacity is here, the size, the flow. Let's do the flow all the way up, so our paint won't be affected like too much. And we can go through all the model and just fix some things. For example, here We don't want so much of the metal to be visible, and some other areas also. This is procedural map, so we have to go and fix it a little bit by ourselves, and this will look a little bit more natural. X key, and in the next video we will continue this, and I'll show you how to make also how to exclude the tube and how to make it its own mask. We can even not exclude it from here and just make another mask for it, and but we'll see. So for now we're done with this video, and see you in the next one.